Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Mark Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial. I'm Mark Freedman.
And I'm Marion Gilman.
And we're here.
We're on the road.
We're in San Diego.
Yeah.
We're at Focus 2026, LPL's national conference, and we are coming to you live from the exhibit hall right here at the San Diego Convention Center.
There are about 10,000 people here, I think.
10,000, yeah.
It's amazing.
They're all effort breakout sessions. We figured we'd try to find a quieter time to do our podcast, but man, what a lineup of stuff that they've got it planned for us.
It has been amazing.
Yeah, LPL continues to grow. When I started back in 1991, the national conference was at a hotel.
Yep.
And everybody went.
Even when I started in 2000, it was at a small hotel, and everything was contained within that hotel.
Yeah, everything happened, and it was, this is massive. Now, what's really interesting is in 1991, nobody knew who LPL Financial was. And as they've continued to grow over the 35 years that I've been affiliated, and you're 26 years, we actually got badges that say so.
We're official.
We're official, I guess, yeah. So one of the things that's interesting is at the general session this morning, they launched the idea that they are making a massive, massive campaign to try to let the public know who LPL is.
Because the public has never known. I mean, we all know the name Fidelity, probably Merrill Lynch,
Schwab,
Morgan Stanley, but not LPL. Very much under the radar here.
Yeah, and so when they had done this market research about a year and a half ago or so, maybe 2 years ago, the marketing firm that they worked with realized that there was 2% recognition by the general public on recognizing the logo or in the brand of LPL Financial. And so they ended up hiring who, Mitt? Do you remember her name?
Anna Kendricks.
Very good. Anna Kendrick was hired to do some commercials, and she started to do stuff on in the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, billboards, all sorts of campaigns. Perhaps you've seen them on social media. And a year later, when they went back to the public, asked the similar group, I don't know if it's the same people, but a similar subset of people, it now has an 18% name and idea recognition.
Incredible increase over that past year.
You know, we have found more and more advisors, or more and more clients that we visit with, Marion. They come to us knowing LPL a little bit better now, simply because the advisor that they were working with in the past has been purchased by LPL Financial, or they moved to LPL.
Right.
And
LPL's great. It's the largest independent dealer in the U.S. Right?
It is, with more than 30,000 advisors right now.
Absolutely. So why do we come every year? I mean, this place is massive. It's a 3-day event, so we're out of the office for 3 days. But I've always found it worthwhile. How about you, Mark?
Oh my God, I love coming here. So
you just learn so much.
Yeah, the national meeting allows us to gather with fellow financial advisors from all around the world who have a number of different types of practices. And that's one of the beauties about LPL, by the way, is you can find the advisor that aligns best with your style. Now, we're very fortunate that the clients we have are really good clients, and we love our clients, right?
We do. We have the best clients. Although we have met a few people here, advisors, who love their clients as well and think theirs are the best, but we know ours.
We have the best clients.
Yeah, we absolutely.
But here's the coolest thing, though, is that if you're part of the public, and you're probably watching this video, and you're thinking to yourself, now's the time to find a new financial advisor. There are so many different styles, and make sure that when you ask the financial advisor, how do you work? How can you benefit me? Make sure that they're answering and also asking you questions that help you explore what it is that you want out of your financial planner.
Because not everybody wants the same thing. Some people want just investment advice, and that's not us.
It is not.
You know, we certainly provide investment advice, but we want to take a holistic approach, and not everyone does that. So it's really important that you find somebody who's a good fit for you. But here, you can find people of all different shapes, sizes, philosophies, and you get exposure to those other ideas. So Mark and I come back with some interesting ideas that we might want to implement in the office, and some things that we never want to do.
Oh, that's for sure. We listen to some stories about
You're like, oh my God.
approaches that people take, and it's like, well, maybe that works for you, but
Not
it
us.
doesn't work for us or for our clients.
right.
And that's the lens that Marion and I and Christian have to look through all the time as we're talking to the public here, and we learn
That's
about their
right.
practices. Would this work for our clients?
Right.
And there's a lot of approaches, like you just said. There are many advisors who think that their best skill is picking investments. And we'll tell you straight out,
A fund is a fund is a fund. I mean, there are lots of different ways you can go about doing this, investing, I should say. And, we have our philosophy.
our approach has always been a financial planning first approach.
Absolutely.
And-
No question.
and-
That's the most important thing.
And I think what I'd like to do, Marion, is invite our director of financial planning
Let's do that.
to have
And
Christian come in.
He happens to be
He's
standing
right
right there,
here.
waiting to jump in.
And-
so I'm going to give him my mic.
All right.
And you just sit right there, and he's going to jump in.
Guess what? We're back here at the convention center here in San Diego, and I got a new companion here next to me.
Hi, Mark. How you doing?
You're like magic. Marion disappears.
I
and
know
then-
the magic of video editing. We are here back together to talk about what we're learning here at
Well,
Focus.
yeah, so one of the things that we just left the group with after Marion walked away was the different styles that advisors have.
True.
In the approach
Yeah.
that they take with their clients. And you know what? There are so many different approaches, and every client has different needs. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's perception on what they think about of what a financial advisor does is different. But what's interesting is many people believe that financial advisors focus primarily on investments. And that's not what we do, is it, Christian?
No, I mean, our clients know and people who have heard about us know that our focus is the entire financial plan. We always say investing is the easiest slice of what we do. Really,
really is.
Where we like to spend a lot of our time is on the planning side, figuring out, okay, what is it that you want to spend? What is it that you can spend? How do we do it tax efficiently? How do we think about your wealth going on to the next generation in an efficient manner, in a way that is productive for your kids or heirs? I mean, there's so many questions out there that are way more fun to spend time talking about, and frankly, we can make a significantly larger difference than if we're just sitting there staring at a stock ticker screen.
The way we create purpose for our clients, in trying to help them envision what retirement looks like, what their goals look like. Because, think about it. How often, if you're an individual, you think to yourself, how often do you really think about all the different pieces and parts that are necessary to help you accomplish your financial goals? Frankly, you probably don't think about it, or you think about one thing or something else that just pops up because it's popular.
That's right.
It's different from what we try to do with our clients.
Yeah,
right?
we like to sit down and, just setting aside the time to say, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? Or what do I want retirement to look like? People have ideas. They say, oh, I like traveling, or, I really like sitting by the lake or reading books. But to really sit down and think about, what are you going to do every day now that you're not working? If that work is 40, 50 hours, you include commutes, what are you going to do with all that time? And a lot of times people envision how much they're going to love it, but never envision what they're actually going to do with that time.
And how much money do you need? I mean, that's always one of these big questions. Everybody's biggest fear when they approach retirement is, will I run out of money? And how often does that really become an issue in our office, Christian?
Well, for a lot of our clients, the bigger issue is, how am I going to use my resources efficiently, which means in a lot of cases, how do I spend more money in retirement, or how much should I be spending in retirement so that I don't leave a significantly larger inheritance to my children than I ever thought would be possible?
Yeah, so I always find it fascinating, the number of clients that come to us and they wonder, can I retire? Do I have enough money? All that kind of stuff. And then when we do this full financial plan, when we understand where everything is and what everything is worth, not just your investments, your bank accounts, insurance policies you might have, reviewing your tax returns, reviewing your pay stubs, your bank accounts, everything in your financial life, what we end up finding out is that not only can you retire successfully.
Right.
But you can probably spend more money than you ever thought about before and still leave a legacy.
That's right. And so that is the key importance of planning is, it's great to envision these things, but when you plan, you actually get a concrete answer as to what does that look like? What options do I have? What flexibility do I have in retirement to live that dream and maybe even more?
Yeah, so Christian, maybe you can explain, because Christian is our director of financial planning, and he sees the big picture. Christian runs the what-if scenarios that, we'll set a base case plan for a client, and then we'll say to them, they'll say to us, well, what if I retired a couple years early? What if I stopped working?
Yeah.
Or what if I could spend more money? Maybe you can walk through some of the scenarios that you try to put together that we can run on the fly for our clients when they do financial planning work with us.
Right. The big ones we see are retiring earlier, or maybe even making a career shift, saying, I love my job right now, but it's getting really exhausting. I'm working a lot of hours. What if I stepped back and did something with a nonprofit I enjoy, or, worked part-time at the place around the corner? Those kind of scenarios I love doing. The other one that happens a lot, and we've been seeing a lot of, is people saying, I loved this house, I raised my family in this house, but we're looking for less yard, or we're looking to maybe buy 2 properties and have one up in the Massachusetts area and one down in Florida. Those types of scenarios I run all the time, and it's so fascinating to not just build the scenario, but make sure we have the conversation about what are the things you're not thinking about, the additional expenses that you're not thinking about, the flights back and forth to Florida, the cost of owning a boat if you live on a lake instead. So many fun conversations to be had.
And then I think one of the more fun conversations that we have is people talk about, can I give some money to my kids? Can I give some money to my grandkids? And sure you can. And there's a lot of things that we talk about there, but we use this term giving with warm hands rather than cold ones. Because the biggest surprise that many of our clients see is that if they continue to spend the way they've been spending, they are going to leave a literal fortune to the next generation.
Yeah.
And if they could use some of that money now to create those experiences, to create those lifetime opportunities now, while they're healthy, whether they can, so that those memories last forever, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I mean, if you think a lot of our clients, a surprising number of them, people say, I won't live until my 90s or 100s. We see a lot of people living to their 90s and 100s. And so if you think about how old will your children be when you are 90, 95, 100 years old? And if they're going to just inherit a big boatload of money, will they already have their own retirement already planned? Instead, using gifts along the way to help people purchase their first home, help support child care expenses for grandchildren, help support education expenses for the grandchildren, that becomes really valuable gifts to that next generation and something that they will appreciate much more than an initial bucket of money when they're in their 70s.
That's for sure. And that's what we call financial advice in a language you can understand. Now's the time for you to get serious about your financial planning and investment management needs. Maybe now's the right time to give us a call. 978-531-8108. That's 978-531-8108. Or visit us on the web, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
2 E's and a D.
Financial.com. You can go to the bottom of any page on our website, put in your name, your email address, and sign up for our free weekly newsletter that we've been sending out every Friday. Get this, every Friday since March of 2009.
It's a long time,
It's
Mark.
a lot of time. Every Friday, 10:30. Never miss a Friday. We write it inside our own office and publish it every Friday, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's going to do it for us from San Diego. Perhaps we'll have some other surprises for you along the way. But for now, have a great day, everybody. We'll be back with more Dollars and Cents next week. See you later.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.